Okay, instead of going home, I decided to play a little bit here, so I was digging up some Fenders to use for the bike here. So I pulled out some aluminum ones here that I got for my race bike. So these are thick wall aluminum. So strong, do whatever you want with them. Easy to play with. They don't look too bad on the bike. So I got the rear fender mocked up onto here. So this one's a little bit on the fat side, but it fits on the struts right now. Remember, we're putting a smaller tire in the back. But it fits in there halfway decent. These have to come out though, but I'll do some more gussing up under here to reinforce it, but we'll work on that. So anyway, I got that mocked up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the wheels. We got the new rear wheel came in. I also dug up some other fenders here I've got buried in the shop here from 15 years ago or whenever the hell I got this damn thing. So here's a Jesse James rear fender. It's a thick wall. Really kind of thick. Weighs about 100 pounds. Jeez. Ah. So these are before or after he welded them all together. These are later production Jesse James stuff. The first Jesse James were half shells that were welded together. These ones here are the last one when they're welded or solid. All one piece. Jesse James fins always had this lip up in here. Reinforcement. They were pretty strong. Heavy as hell, but strong as hell too. So this is the correct shape for a Sportster. And that thing's heavy. So that fit on it. Looks just like a Sportster fender, but bigger. Definitely heavier. We're going to have to probably widen this to use that one though. The other options, I got a universal fender. How heavy this one is. Oh, these are a lot lighter. Oh, this is a lot better looking than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to look like that. Oh, get out of the way. There. Sportster fender also, but that's a fatter one. See, a little bit fatter. Not a lot, just a little bit. So there's another one. This looks like another Jesse James. Oh, this is the older style Jesse James. See, this is the welded together version. And you can tell it's the original Jesse James because it's got the Jesse James logo on it. So, just more junk fenders. It's crap he's doing chopper swapper, right? Milk $1 million on this shit. Alright, so that can go on there too. A little bit lighter. Still got everything on the inside I got to cut out. If I want to widen it, it's already just cut it down the center. It's already been welded once. So weld it again. So anyway, there's two different variations of those. So one's a little bit taller than the other. It's the only real difference. Like I said, this is a universal. You do what you want with it, but that's aluminum. Easy to work with and light. I like that better. Alright, so I'm going to get the wheel. Basic, our rear wheel is going to be this width. So I got a new rim. This is my racing rim. These got the aluminum Acron rims on there. Or Excels, whatever hell brand they were. I forget over the years which what. It doesn't matter. They're aluminum. So we got some chrome on the wheels here. He wanted something that wasn't chrome. So we got them chrome. So these are 60 spoke. Except it sure the hell looks like an 80 spoke to me. Yeah, I think this is 80. There's too damn many spokes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nope. 15 times 4 is 60. Way too many spokes. Anyway, at least I got a aluminum hub wheel. And this is also the 2000 later with a ball bearing style in it. So it takes the 2000 up parts. So it's a lot better than the V-twin wheel, which had the 4 1/4 18 rim, just like this, but it was it had the stock steel hub in it that rusted like crazy, which I did not want to use. And this also gives me the ball bearing instead of Timken, so it's more secure feeling in the back. It doesn't wobble around as much. And then it's got all this goo in here for running tubeless too, which doesn't really do much for me, but I never really trust this crap. But, oh well. So as long as we don't have to move the rim around too much, we should really run it the way it is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the tire on there. So is there an offset change here? Looks like this is about 1 full finger. And this one here looks like about the same. Okay, so it looks like the same offset. Looks like a 7/16 hole. No, that's 3/8. This is 7/16 here. So 7/16 is the thread for the sprocket, and 3/8 is the size for a brake rotor. So my problem is that thing is so damn wide. It's gonna be hard to put in that swing arm, but we'll see how that works. So the new tires we got, that's the wheel from the Panhead. That's a 16x4. These are the tires we picked up. So these are brand new Avon top of the line Spirit STs. Radial super high performance touring tires, what they call this. So we can get these in 18-inch front and back. So there you go. We got a 160 and we got a 120 in the front. So we'll put this on a 3.5-inch rim. This goes on a 4 1/4. So this one's going to spread out, and this one's going to pooch in. So it's really made for like a 5-inch rim, but can't get a 5-inch 18 rim. Nobody has it. So, and definitely not cheap. That wheel there is cheap. So that was a couple $100 less than the V-twin wheel, which is always nice. We save money, get better parts. I like that. Excuse me. Alright, we can go ahead and put the wheel on a tire on our wheel. So if you watch me before I do this, it requires tire irons and hammer. It's super snap. Rubber tire, tire. Tire installation facility right here. Official spot. Alright, let's see how easy this goes together. So we got our inflator, our core remover. These aren't hard to make either. See, it's a large hole stem, and then just put a, a metal core remover. Now you got what you need. And if you Loctite that on there, don't fall off. Works better than most of the tools you buy. That costs more. Okay, this is on the sprocket side. First thing I do is remove all the crap off the tire. Tire crap. They like putting lots of stickers on tires. They look like crap when you leave them on when you go down the road. Doesn't take that much work to take them off. It's a nice sticky tire too. There, we're running out of room to put our sticky stuff over here. I'll stick it on top of my car tire stickers. How's that? It's the only place I put stickers in my whole building. On the side of my press. It's the only place they're allowed. That way I know what tires I use on my vehicles. It's the only reason they're there. And whoever else's I'm using stuff for. And I got glue on my eating utensil. Is glue good for your dinner? Find out tonight when I use it. Alright. So I use my CRC to lubricate. Doesn't damage the tire or any. Makes it nice and slippery. You can use soapy water too if you want to make a big mess. I don't like big messes. I don't like water either. Okay, rear wheel rotation goes that way. Yeah, we're in the right spot. Avon Easy doesn't mark their stuff where highs and lows are at for weight. There's a sticker in here, who knows what that's for. We'll use that. Core. First shot. This is rubber tipped hammer, so you don't do any damage. Unless you're stupid, then you can do all kinds of damage. Okay, then you gotta put the tire over the edge. Put your knee on top of it. Work yourself around. This tire is very soft, pliable. Nice thin wall radial. They're like half the weight of a Harley tire. Real flexible, it's like a car tire. Nice flexible sidewalls. You have to go down inside the rim there. Popping up on me. You got to make sure it's in the back of the rim. In the back there, really fight you. Pants getting away there. All right. Last little bit, just use a hammer. Goes. Alright. Make sure you put it on correctly. I think I did. I hope. Arrow's going that way. Right rear. We're doing good. Alright. The valve cord is pretty damn loose. It would leak if you didn't tighten it. Pull that out so you can let the air in and out easier. Alright. So much water I got in my line today. That's good. Blow it up. This rim's right on the very limit of the minimum dimension, 4.25 rim. The backside just popped. We're up to 60 pounds. There goes the front here. There we go. Let all the air out of it so it can equalize. I'm not going to worry about balancing right now. Pour on it. I don't want to give you two nuts, you already got one on here. It's tight. Who knows? Okay. Take this back, put some air in it. In the back, I don't have so much water in my line. Alright, we'll head in the back. Be back. Alright, we're back. So I had to pop the bead on the tire so I can balance the thing. I went and found a breaker that kind of fits on there, but not the one we're going to use. Mainly because it's the front one, it's the rear. Okay, so what I do is for balancing, instead of putting weights on here, I use airsoft BBs. So I use the good American-made ones. You put 2 ounces per wheel, 2 ounces in your wheel, and it balances it. On the car I use 3 ounces, on a truck tire I use 4 ounces. On a little skinny front tire you can probably use 1.5 ounces. So basically all you do is just got to pop the bead down a little bit so the BBs will run in there. Of course it's not doing. Yep. Bead won't go down low enough. Yep. I guess I need a tire iron to do that. So much for being easy. Jeez. Bam. Good one going on. That stupid ass. All that silicone in there is sticking up my gap. I need to put my BBs in. You bastard. Okay, how am I going to do this? I don't want to crush my BBs. There we go. Yeah, I got to make up a trough when we get in there. I don't want to crush the BBs. Now you want to know how this works? Go read up on BBs for balancing. There's a lot of articles about it. And it works very, very well. And I don't care what anybody says, because I already know it works. I used the hell out of it. It'll take something you can't balance and it'll balance it perfectly. Bit. Stupid ass bead that's in there. That's probably why the tire went on so hard too. Normally these things just fall right in, but you don't want to work that way. Alright, last one in here. It only takes you about a half a second to put them in, you know. They just fall right in there. I pulled these out of my car tires with about 30,000 miles on them, and they start to wear up a little bit. They get kind of glazed. But very, very few of them are actually broken, so they still work. They have to roll in order to work, so that's kind of the key. That's why I use the heavy-duty American ones. Theoretically, they're tougher. Okay. Well, that was a lot of extra effort. Oh well, it works. Just makes me hot and sweaty on a hot, sweaty night. It's midnight and it's still hot. Okay, we gotta pop our tire again. If the bead doesn't go all the way up, that's because you still got a BB in there. It doesn't belong. Oh, take the core out. I didn't take the core out yet. There goes a lot faster without the core in the way. Took about 60 pounds before. Probably more this time. 65 almost. Yeah, about the same. Yeah, it didn't pop this time. Leave everything loose. Tighten it up a little bit. You got to recheck that after a while to make sure the rubber seats in. So now the tire is actively balanced. That means it's balancing all the time. It's always changing. So your wheel always is in balance. What's nice about that. If you got a tire that's out of balance, you'll notice it instantly. And every mile you drive it, the tire gets smoother and smoother and smoother. It'll let you see all the dimples and stuff in the tire as it wears it flat. Okay, there's 40 pounds. Spit test it. No bubble means no leak. Oh, scratch my fender. All right. You hear them in there rolling, see? They quit rolling after about 4 or 5 miles an hour. They go all the way to the outside and stay there and just work. When you first roll the bike, though, it makes noise. Some people don't like that. Okay, this is the sprocket from the rotor side. This is the sprocket side. Oh! So up here, tire's in my way. Okay, here's a brake rotor, wheelwood caliper, custom bracket I had made up. So these just hang down low. These are car calipers. These are for like dirt cars. They got real thick pads in here. I've yet to ever wear anything I can see wearing on my pad after 15 years on my race bike. All those 150 0 stops doesn't bother it one bit. It doesn't care. Use a PM caliper. Brake pads are worn out in 6 months to a year. These ones don't wear out. And these have quick disconnect. You just pop them up like this. This pin comes right out. Pads come right out this way. Put new pads in, put the pin back in. You're back on the road again. Simple. And we use any caliper, any rotor that'll fit on a Harley to work with it. Okay, now here's our brake. Our sprocket. That was a V-twin. This is the one I made up. Makeup means I had to bore the hole. V-twin actually has a steel chrome one you can buy, so that's why I use them now. But back in the day, you had to make your own. So these are 99 and earlier. You take them and bore them out for the big register, and then they fit this application down here, which is late model. See how I make them? They fit tight. This one's a 48 tooth. I got to see if it's going to clear this tire, which I don't think it's going to. Nope, it's going right through the tire. Alright, so this is out. Can't use a flat one. I'm not even sure if the offset one's going to really work. Doesn't look like there's enough offset there to do anything. I need to have to relace up the, redo the offset on the rim. Make it work. Okay, so this is our V-twin one here. Yeah, keys. Yeah, a bag in a bag, what a shocker. Kidney shaped cutouts instead of holes. Okay, so now, see how loose that is? That means the sprocket can be out or 30,000. That will affect your balance. It'll also make the chain go tight, loose, tight, loose. That's how precision non-machining is. Mine fit tight because I made the hole the right size. Okay, I need a couple of 7/16 bolts. You only need 3 bolts for mock-up. What the hell? Oh, dumbass. Fine thread bolts don't work in coarse hole locations. All right, coarse thread. Oh, what a difference, it fits. Tight's adequate. Oh. Ooh, that is right on the tire. I think the chain's going to rub the tire. I don't know if you can see the sprocket there, but it's right there. So what I'm going to do is re-offset the rim over a little bit more this way, about 1/8 of an inch probably. So a little bit too close. Or probably the better way of doing it, you take the tire and cut the damn edge off. There's plenty of a fake edge on there you don't need. That's what I did on my race bike. You grind off 1/8 of an inch, just flattens it a little bit. It's probably the better way going, that way the tire is more centered. But we'll see how it looks like on the bike. Okay, so we know how that is. The next problem is my brake rotor. Now I don't have a rear one, this is the front one. Front one takes 5/16 bolts, rear one takes 3/8. So we just mock it up with that on there. We take our rotor, our brake caliper assembly, and we got to see how much space we think we're going to need in here. Appears like we're going to need about that much, about a 1/2 inch at least. Put that up there, it'll stay put. Okay, I brought my box of axle spacers. I'll do that far now. Okay, this is probably about a 700 or 650 thou one. 650. It actually works pretty good. Could be, need to be slightly less than 650. This would be probably about 620. Would really be what I want. But 620 is an odd size that we're not going to come up with, I don't think. 518, that's not even close. $645, 648, that's the same ones. There's a whole bunch of the same ones here, 2 different boxes, same thing, wonderful. $750, 500. Probably gonna have to make the damn thing. It's usually how this stuff goes. There's a chromium one, 690. Ooh, that's even worse. You don't want that one. 700. Okay, so we're gonna have to use one of these. I need something that's under that dimension. I'm not sure what I'm gonna need yet, so I'm not gonna make it right now, but we know we need something that's gonna be a little bit less than what this one is. For now I can use this for mock-up until I get the rotor bolted in. Oh, there's the problem right there. Okay. It's lifting the rotor because the rotor's not mounted, so it's definitely way less than this. So next one down is going to be a 500. One of these. $501. Oh, geez. Looks like that's even lifting. Yeah, that's even lifting the rotor up. Not even close. Okay. Boy, was I off. Just keep dropping them down. 500 don't work. 3-ish. Yep. Not looking the rotor now. We have a new problem. Yeah. New problem is this isn't going to work. That's the new problem. Let's see if I can pop this camera. Okay. So, you know how this work clears down here. The rotor is kind of square in the caliper there, right in the middle. Problem is we're hitting way heavy down here. Spokes are in the way. We're way, way in the way, not just a little bit, way in the way. So this fancy ass wheel, they got these spokes that are really wide space, and they're up into my hub, or into my caliper here. So this caliper is way too wide here to use because it's a car caliper. So we're going to have to use some kind of a caliper with a lot less distance in here, which is going to be a Harley caliper. It's not going to be this caliper. Alright, so we know the wheel was out on this application, ain't going to fly. On the race bike it works fine because the spokes are narrower. The pattern's narrower. See how these are angled? See how the spokes are right close to each other down in here? It's a 4 1/4 rim, same as that one. And you can see the clearance I got on the caliper in there. This one over here, you can see how the spokes are wide spread apart. Put your finger in between them. So that finger is now what's calling having that caliper rub on our spoke here. So the only way I can make this work, I'd have to offset this disc way the hell out, which is probably not going to clear. But it might. I don't know. We have to see. If it does, I can use a sprocket spacer on here and move this thing out 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever I need. This here, I have at least a 1/4 inch hitting in it, so it's probably like a 3/8. If I have room to clear the swing arm with a 3/8, which I might, then I can do that. But for now, we don't know. All we know for sure for now is it doesn't fit. So that's going to be a problem. A big problem. One advantage to it like this is I can use an earlier brake rotor to check my clearances now, if I got room. But until we put this together, we don't know what we need. So I'll have to get it up into the bike and find that out. But for now, it does not fit. Alright, so this here is going to be kind of a problem. Alright, so now we got a couple problems. We know we got to grind the tire off here. You can see this lip in here, how tall it is. See how it sticks way up? You can see on my race bike. Race bike tires. You can see how this one was cut. I didn't do that though. See how this tire's been cut right here. I ground it, and that gave me the clearance to clear my chain on my bike. I also did it on the other side over here to get swing arm clearance because it hits up in the swing arm up in there. So that little cosmetic edge there doesn't do a damn thing except get in the way, so you can very easily grind it down. Use a grinder. You can use one of these buffing discs like that, a flap. I use this one here. 36 grit. Go to town on it, comes right off. You can control it real easy on how depth it is, so it comes out pretty even. And it doesn't look like it even did anything. So that's going to have to get done on this tire before we can use it. So, oh well. This sprocket here is bigger than I want. This is a 51. We're going to drop this thing way down. Now when you drop the sprocket way down in size to like this 40, your chain no longer hits up here. It brings the chain line from here down to here. So the chain sits real close to your swing arm. Now the only thing we got to watch on this bike is your sprocket's right here. You got to make sure the chain don't going to rub on this or right here when you get the sprocket too low. Now one advantage when you get the chain lines real close together, when this goes up and down, the chain doesn't change in length so much because it's staying pretty even. When you got a real fat chain go like that, it moves more. So we'll have to see how that mocks up too. I got to put this whole motor together. We're turning in here to put the sprocket on here to find out what the chain line's going to be. So all that has to be figured out too. Like so, the fender up here looks pretty good. It's definitely wide enough. Like I said, it's aluminum, so we don't have to paint it if we don't want to. You can just scrub it, sand it, scrub it, buff it, and have just a dull finish. You can have a polished aluminum finish. You can have a semi-finished, or you can paint the damn thing. It doesn't matter. It ain't going to rust, so it makes no difference. For the front wheel, I like that one there. And what did I do with my front tire? Probably left it laying here someplace. There it is, way down here. There's the front tire. See, Harley tire. race tire. Look at the difference. Now this tire should be just about the same width as my Fender when this is installed. Now on this wheel we're going to run the widened rim, so it's going to spread out. When it spreads out, it's not going to fit on this fender. Even this fender don't fit here now. See? There, fits perfect. I see no problem with that running just like that. Shouldn't be any drag at all. It's only a little snug in there. Alright, so when that's on the bike, we can cut it any way we want, because this is just a raw fender. We can cut the fender bracket wherever we need it to be, and then we can make a design however we want to cut this thing up. And what I figured is we cut the thing down the center, and we can add an inch in the middle, which will give you a 6-inch fender. Almost. That's 5 3/4, 4 1/4, 4 3/4 now. So you make it that. So these are no longer available, but I got a bunch of them I bought. There you go. I bought every one they had because I like them. And this here is 7 inches wide, I think here. So if I make the fender, you know, 5 3/4, 6 inches wide. If it's 6 inches, I can put a 1/2 inch spacer on each side here, and it can fit right in here and be no problem. It'll look good. It'll fit nice and tight on the tires, so it'll look nice. And actually we can do any kind of a cut we want on it. I like full fenders so that they keep the crap off the bike. And if we have a full fender, I would cover up all the way down to here. Probably use one of these. I think these things are too fat. These ones are too fat, I think. Nope, they fit in there. Kind of. I like them when they come back to like here. Keeps the crap off the bike. Got a nice short front to it. Looks not good that way to me. Like I said, I went to Bonneville, you get all that salt and crap blowing all over the place. It's nice to have it not on the front of your bike too much. And aerodynamically, it helps a little bit. Now if you move it forward a little bit more like that and then just drop it down, that's more conventional. The more you go forward on it, the more the aerodynamics get better, because it doesn't act like a big air scoop and scoop air into it. So if you center it, it'll sit right here. But we can duplicate a fender like this real easy. If he wants to use a steel fender like this, we can use one of these big fat ones. But this would work good if we had this big fat tire. But when you use that little skinny one over there, it's too fat. So we'll figure that mess out too. Those are all things you have to figure out when you're working on custom bikes. Alright, so there's what that looks like. So how does that compare to this one here? Pretty close. Yeah. A little bit wider. Oh yeah, this is a 1/2 inch wider. Still got air in it. So this will go back here. Yeah. There you go. Look like that on the bike. Not too bad. Too damn many spokes. I like 40 a lot better than I do 60. But, oh well, it'll work. Yeah, it's not going to be too bad. It's not as wide as the 170 or 180 tire, but it's pretty good. 160 will fill that fender up. It won't look too awful bad with that big fat fender in there. And that's all stuff we got to figure out what we're going to do. Alright, so next thing we got to do on this bike is tear it apart and get this, we got to fix the bolt in here. I got to counterbore the swing arm boss was screwed up. Then we put the motor back in, and after we mock up the tranny in there, get our chain line figured. We got to figure out this chain line. And we'll cut these braces off, get them out of the way, because they're in the way of the fender. I can't move my fender forward. The fender should be sitting way up here. And when the swing arm goes back and forth like this, it'll come up and hit right up out in here on the fender and nail it. So you got to get it all the way forward. I'll have to take one of these shocks here and take it apart, and so I can take the spring out. We can do a full bottom, so that's when the shock bottoms out up inside. So that'll be at full squat, and this is at full open. You always want to get your fender on the bike at full squat so you don't rub on the fender at full down. And then you can see how low you can make the fender of the tire And then when you jack it all back up, it's whatever height you got, it's what you got. That's how you're supposed to figure out a fender fitment. This fender here is aluminum, so I can weld on it real easy. And I'll just put a filler strip under here to make it flat wherever we wind up putting this thing, if we have to do that. Depends on where it comes in at. And it's going to be, the bolt's probably going to wind up being way back here. This bolt here will be about here because we got to move it forward a good inch. So about right here the bolt's going to be. If I have to lower the bolt down, we'll lower it, but I don't think I'll have to. I think the bolt's probably going to wind up being about in here. But we'll see once we get this mocked up better. Like I said, this will just get the looks what we want. Now we got to start doing more of a fitment to get things so they actually fit together. So anyway, that's where we're at for now. And now it's after 12, I'm sure, so definitely time to go home. That's it.